Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming out today with a Veve Omi update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If not, welcome back. I love y'all. I can say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. Also, raythex.eth domain name, and then OIA. Good times over there. Anywho, there's a couple things I want to go over that are really bullish for Veve, Omi, and all that jazz. We'll start off with something from Brock Blockchain saying, oh no, rumor is Feeshmas isn't done and there's another airdrop incoming. Pavli Stanomarovich says, hey Brock, can you teach Veve on how to do drops with success? And Brock had said, well, they've been doing drops for 2 years, most of which go off without a hitch, and they do them with tons more users than I do. So Brock kind of just, bowing the head. But that being said, something I think I mentioned in a live stream, but not in a video yet, is Brock Blockchain has actually done more airdrops than Veve. And this is not because Veve is not into airdrops. Clearly they do them. But yeah, Brock Blockchain has actually done, on the metadata, you can tell a bunch more. Now, parts of the reason for this is because Brock is just one person, and Brock does not have to really answer to anyone, where Veve says, David would love to do all types of airdrops. They would be like, yeah, like when we were talking, I think it was a Mars Things company, Rewind Collective, where they had kind of jumped the gun and say, oh, hey, we're doing this airdrop. We're just waiting on Veve. And David's like, okay, we'll do it. But like he just didn't know. He had to check with everyone there first. So it's not like they don't want to do them. They clearly do. But there's just so many moving parts. There's so many other CEOs. And again, if you want to do something with Disney, do you have to just talk to Fox Disney? Do you have to just talk to the Walt Disney Company? Is how many executives, how much red tape do you have to go through in order to get something approved? So that's just one of the reasons why. But that being said, there are a couple of things like you've seen with DesignerCon stuff that you go and you say, oh, hey, we're going to get an airdrop for this. Dan has said before, we're going to have more drops in 2023. There's going to be less mints, which is fine. Make things super scarce for us, and we get them. And they'll be scarce. They'll won't be considered scarce at the time, but when we have millions of users, obviously they will be. So I'm pretty excited for that. Also, speaking of Feesh news, he had said that, hey everyone, a big push next year will be pushing the IP out wider. I'd like to do more digital, but also push for more physical. If you haven't heard yet, I'm working on a Feesh's card game. Think Feesh Arena, but travels with you. I'm trying to do some R&D to see how much interest there is in a physical card game for Feesh's. Digital will come first for testing, etc. Also, no obligation to buy. Just trying to see costs and research to see if it makes sense. I want to go super high quality, but I also don't want to miss the price point you may expect. Your response and sharing of this tweet would be helpful. So just go to the Discord, take a look at that, and you'll find that in the announcements bracket. But one of the things that I kind of want to reiterate, and again, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Sometimes I do connect dots that are not there. But it seems to make sense. When Brock Blockchain had mentioned, oh, hey, I have a partnership with a Comey, he made sure it was very specific to say it was a Comey and not Veve. Meaning that, okay, well, we're probably not going to see Feesh on Veve anytime soon. And it was a Comey just because he's using the Omi token with his project. And then I thought about it, okay, well, you don't really need to have a partnership with a Comey in order to use Omi. I mean, there's a company, like I said, True Facet, link down below. I think I should have that. A high-end jewelry company where they have BitPay and they have Bitcoin and Ethereum, and at some point they will be using Omi. And you could be able to use that to buy high-end jewelry, high-end fashion, whatever. And they definitely don't have a partnership because I know the owners. They don't have a partnership, not an official one. And then, Mumbot came out and says, oh, I have a partnership with a Comey. And, you saw some of her artwork in Veve's last video update in David's background. So when I saw Feesh over at the DesignerCon, I was like, okay, maybe we could see Feesh on Veve. And again, you're going to see them in the Veveverse because any NFT that you have, whether it's from Earth 2 or any other project, Hero, whatever, Batcals can come into the Veveverse as well. So pretty excited on that. Anyhow, there is a lot of FUD talking about the Hable versus Cadenzi lawsuit. People claiming that, oh, well, they're saying Omi's a security. Okay, if you take a look at, and shout out to Crypto Bro or at DMMMO, he's saying Omi is an investment contract under U.S. law, number 38. As relevant here, to be a security under U.S. law, an investment contract must involve the investment of money in a common enterprise with the reasonable expectation of profits, reliant on the efforts of others. Individuals purchase Omi tokens from a Comey to participate in a common enterprise with an expectation of profit derived solely from the efforts of Akomi. And number 39 saying, because it is issued by a non-US company without any known meaningful targeting of the US markets, OMI is not required to be registered as a security with the Securities Exchange Commission, and nothing in this complaint alleges that Akomi violated any laws, let alone US securities law, but Gudenzi's sales are nonetheless subject to anti-fraud rules of the United States securities laws because he incurred a revocable liability to deliver OMI tokens while within the United States, referencing Stoyas versus Toshiba Corp. And so anyone that's saying, oh, OMI is now a security, that is absolute FUD. That is absolute false. Do not let anyone tell you that. Absolute false. As I've stated before, collecting will be a $1 trillion industry by 2032. Shout out to Comics Crypto, Sean O'Hare, saying new record, a CGC Superman 4.5 number one, or I'm sorry, CGC 4.5 Superman number one, sold on December 16th for $517,000, a new high for this grade. The previous high was $348,000 in 2020, just 2 years ago. So that is a nice increase of like 50%, literally in 2 years. So shout out to them for that. And again, this type of thing will happen again and again and again to no avail, because people love collecting. As a lot more money is generated, that's what you're going to get. People collect what they love, what they got into originally at first, and then it goes up to the grails. Then it goes up to the trophies. I've seen it in Pokemon, seen it here. It's going to happen again. Something else you might be seeing on Veve is that Donald Glover is to star in and produce a Spider-Man movie based on the villain Hypno Hustler. That might come out in 2024, 2025 probably. But again, we might see that type of thing on Veve. And shout out to Veve Viral for this one. He tweets out that things that have happened since a ton of fodder suggested that DC Comics was done working with Veve Official. 1, they've restructured their secondary fees. 2, the airdrops for being a Veve OG, you know, the Jim Lees, Eddie Rissos, that type of deal. 3, utility, which is the allow list. 4, they were featured in the Veveverse. And 5, a new animated style drop. We did have the first ever animated drop come, from DC, come to Veve via Swamp Thing. I haven't gotten one yet. I might at some point. I'll let you know. But adding to that, Veve did just say, deck the halls of justice. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and the rest of the Justice League are here to wish you a super holiday season with 3 limited additional digital collectible posters from DC Comics. They did tag them in that. I don't think DC had retweeted that, but again, they have 5.3 million followers over on the over on the Twitter, so pretty good partnership to have. Dropping in blind box format on Tuesday, the 20th, December 20th at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And here is what one of them will look like. If it is the Justice League, yeah, I do see. You see Green Lantern as a woman. You see Cyborg. You see obviously Batman back there, the Flash. And I'm not sure if, unless Hal Jordan has super long hair in this one. And then you have Aquaman. But again, Aquaman kind of looks like a woman in this one. No judgment. But yeah, so DC is very, very, very much still invested with Veve. There are deals all the time on the market. I'll tell you one from somebody else. This is from Charles Van Wimmersch saying, hey Veve fam, how did you enjoy the Batman gem squeeze? I was able to secure these 2 masterpieces around the floor. I love this period. And they are Brett Crawford's number 50 and number 51. These are sub 100s. These are, again, this had gone for the physical 5-foot version of this had gone for tens of thousands of dollars. Brett Crawford is great. I love him. This is one of my favorite art pieces on the app. I do not have it, but I'm just saying how much I love it. It is currently at about $550 right now. I think this was one of the most expensive ones that we have had on the app. Originally, the original price was $450. And yeah, now you have one for $550. Pretty dope. And again, that's the floor. You buy it, okay, you raise the floor 9% to $600. You buy it, you raise it again to $650. Pretty wild. So people are spending, again, not just hundreds of dollars on certain things, sometimes thousands. And me, I'm a little more conservative. But if there is any Marvel Mighty sub 100 that is 30 gems or less, I will buy it. If there's any Marvel Mighty sub 50, 55 gems or less, I will buy it. Comment down below if you want to set up a deal. Something I noticed this morning for the Fantastic Four drop is that you have the poster was in line with the other 2 Fantastic Four physical not the physical statues, the actual statues that can be animated and look pretty cool. And again, they're not first appearances. Obviously, you do have all of the Fantastic Four first appearance were Marvel Mighties. But I can't help but think that at some point we might get an airdrop for holding all of these. Now, I do not hold all of them. I hold all the Invisible Woman. I hold the holiday card. I do not hold the Ultra Rare Mr. Fantastic. It's like 50 gems right now. But a lot of those were burned. I think there are 3,000 total, or under 3,100 between the Ultra Rare and the Uncommon, whatever they are called. Yeah, there's 2,000 rare about 1,000 ultra rare. So there's not a ton of those for that particular set. And again, it is not a first appearance. That goes to the Marvel Mighties, but I just can't help but think that we might get an airdrop for that at some point when we have all of them. Tomorrow we do have at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's a Spaces with a chat with Veve product director Mitch M. And Veve chats meet product director Mitch M, digital collectibles, NFTs. I do not believe they're going to roll this guy out to answer questions unless things are on time, unless you have MCP coming out soon, unless you have crypto pay-in coming out soon. I do not believe that is someone that you're going to go and say, you know what? Yeah, send him out there and throw him under the bus and be like, explain to everyone why things are delayed. I do not believe that. I believe, and again, if you take a look at the development roadmap, the crypto to gem has moved. The crypto to gem is more filled out this month than it was last month. So I'm very, very excited about that. I think that might be up for another removal up to completed next month. So I'm, like I said, very, very bullish on it. Moving on. So there are a couple of things that I want to talk about why I'm bullish on this space in general, at least as far as macro is concerned. You did have a couple of things trickling down. We did have inflation that had a little tick down. Now it's very, very possible that we could have a double top inflation where it comes down to go back up. And the recession could have a double bottom where, it's going up just to come back down. That is very possible. But for right now, inflation did tick down. Other reasons where we have a anti-inflation thing, we have a federal judge that did ban Biden's college loan forgiveness plan, made it illegal. Now, I get it. Some people are like, well, I have college loans and I could really use some forgiveness for that. I understand 100%. I have friends that have tens of thousands of dollars of loans and it sucks. They're struggling. Most of my generation was lied to. They said, oh, you go to college, you take out loans, and that just happened to be the worst thing ever. Thankfully, I didn't do it, but I understand that other people did. But that being said, that's an extra $500 billion that is not being given out, for free. That is not just being, that's something that is anti-inflation, and that is good for macroeconomics. In conjunction with that, you do have a split government right now that will be sworn in January, where we'll have a Republican Congress, we'll have a split Senate, and then Biden will remain as president, or Kamala Harris if something happens to him, if steps down, whatever. But when you have a split government like that, you're most likely not going to get any stimulus. Again, more things that will help prevent inflation on that level. So no stimulus there. You do have a Ukraine win in Kherson. I think there was, I have to Google this real quick. Yeah, earlier this month you had a city where there's more than 280,000 people in there. Russian forces withdrew from that particular city in Ukraine. It's a big win for the Ukrainian people and for its military. That's something that I think is very, very bullish for the macro environment. And as long as we're talking about macro environment, as we're talking about being bullish, you do have the U.S., and talking about Ukraine, saying no to Ukraine when Ukraine asked for advanced drones. And the U.S. said no. And basically what that tells Ukraine is, hey, you need to go and you need to negotiate for an end to this war, right? Midterm elections are over. What Biden wants to go do is say, Ukraine under my tutelage, under my guidance, we have come to a diplomatic solution to end this war right before election time. That would be perfect for him. And that's what he wants to do. I don't think this goes and lasts another 2 years. I think this war is definitely going to be over before the election. Just seems to make sense. And hopefully it comes to a peaceful end soon. If not, it might come to a bit less of a peaceful end, but I think that does happen before the end of the election. Again, not financial advice, but this is just something I'm very bullish on. Speaking of which, I'm being bullish. China's Xi Jinping did go and relaxes Rona policies over in China, focusing more on an economic model for the country. Again, all of these things separately, but all of these things together very, very bullish for the macro economy. And I don't think that anyone's really talking about that now. I don't think a lot of these things are people that are putting into their heads for their models. So in the next year, I'm very, very bullish on all of these catalysts hitting, and us, yeah, we might hit rock bottom at the recession, we might hit, whatever. But on top of that, I think we're going to have a nice K-shaped recovery. I think it's going to be very, very bullish for the second half of 2023 and then beyond in 2024. It's just things that make me bullish. Anyway, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye to Dashi. Goodbye, Dashi. I love you guys. Bye. Meow, 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 meow.